links in the description. If you do like this video, if you like this topic, then do consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing the video potentially. Have a look at some of the other videos that I have on the channel. I tend to read through articles that of breaking news, true crime that's happened today, that's published today rather, or published the day before. So pretty hot news, as it were. Hopefully that's of interest to yourself. If not, no problems. Going to read through the full article here. It is a sad story. It involves the death of a newborn at the hands of the mother, regrettably. And I'm going to say it's kind of controversial topic. I could have that wrong. My feelings on the topic, if I'm very honest with my feelings on the situation, you may strongly disagree with me. I feel a fair bit of compassion towards the mother in this type of case. But it is an interesting article. Again, going to read through it all. And if you disagree with me, please say so in the comments. Don't have to be too harsh about it. We're allowed to disagree. Georgia mom sentenced for murder after leaving her newborn daughter in a cooler on the side of the road. A judge in Georgia on Friday sentenced a woman to spend more than 2 decades behind bars after the woman admitted she was behind the 2019 murder of her newborn daughter. Caroline Riley Propes was sentenced to 23 years in prison for killing Eliza Jane Warner by placing the infant, who was only days old at the time, in a travel cooler which she zipped shut and abandoned by the side of the road. The ultimate sentence also includes 7 years of probation following the defendant's release from prison. Propes on Wednesday pleaded guilty to 1 count each of second-degree murder and second-degree child cruelty after her defense team reached a deal with prosecutors, resulting in multiple charges being dismissed. The child's remains were initially discovered January the 6th, 2019, on the side of the Boy Scout Road in Troup County by a man who called 911 and told the dispatcher that he nearly had a heart attack. So I'm going to read through this quotation, this short interaction between the person that found the baby and who called 911, as well as the 911 dispatcher. So the witness, or the guy that found the baby, says, "So I was at the club, so I seen what was in this book bag, and it's a baby in here, man." The dispatcher says, "A baby?" And the guy says, "It's a dead baby. It's a dead baby, yes. I'm right here where the baby at now. Yeah, I'm about to have a heart attack." So some poor gentleman opened a cooler, a travel cooler on the side of the road, and found a dead baby within. The article continues, "The cooler, which contained the dead infant, was designed to look like a watermelon. Witnesses told investigators that the cooler had been sitting by the roadside for approximately a week. An autopsy was conducted on the child's remains, and it was determined that the little girl, died of asphyxiation. Following the grisly discovery, it took more than 14 months of investigation before detectives within the Troup County Sheriff's Office were able to make an arrest." Okay, so I'm not going to read that part, but it just mentions some forensic DNA that they were able to identify. Sheriff's deputies arrested Propes in March 2020 and charged her with 7 felonies, including malice murder, felony murder, first-degree child cruelty, and aggravated assault. Sheriff James Woodruff said Propes told investigators that she put the newborn baby in the brightly coloured cooler, hoping it would draw attention from passers-by. Here's a quote from the sheriff. "She panicked and put the baby in the cooler to bring it down there in hopes that somebody would see the cooler, stop, pick it up, and take it home with them." The sheriff reportedly said that Propes used the cooler to keep the baby warm, but did not realize that it was airtight when zipped shut. which resulted in the infant suffocating to death. Investigators reportedly determined that Propes gave birth to the child on December the 28th, 2019. The sheriff said that she was living with her parents at the time, but managed to have the baby in secret. The sheriff said she abandoned it in a cooler shortly after giving birth. Now, the article tells us gives us a little bit of an education. Certainly this was an education for me, something I wasn't aware of. Georgia, like all other states, has a safe haven law. Such laws, sometimes called Baby Moses laws, allow mothers to leave unwanted infants in safe locations without triggering criminal prosecutions. In Georgia, the law is technically called the Safe Place for Newborns Act of 2002, and its express purpose is to prevent injuries and deaths of newborn children that are caused by a mother who abandons the newborn. Okay, so there's really that article. As I said at the beginning, I do feel sorry for mothers in this situation. I wasn't aware of these Baby Moses laws, safe haven laws. I wasn't aware of that, and I would imagine, I could be entirely wrong, but I would imagine that most young people wouldn't be aware that such laws exist. I mean, I don't know. I mean, she had the baby in secret. She lived at home. Her parents didn't know she was pregnant. I've got to imagine, I've got to assume, and I could be entirely wrong, that she was scared witless. You know, she was young and scared witless. And I think the article tells us that she was 17 at the point that she gave birth. So very, very young. This article isn't, of course, giving us every last detail, and it's suggesting that the guilty party took a plea bargain. So I'm not sure how many details were gone through during the court case. I don't know. But based on what's presented in this article alone, you know, and I'm trying to make the point that there might well be other information which would change my interpretation significantly, but based on the information here, I mean, it says that at least she claims she purposefully put the baby in a bright travel cooler so that it could be identified, and you know, so that a passerby could identify it, look into it, and you know, take care of the baby, you know, take the baby to a safe haven, to the authorities or what have you. I believe that it's quite possible that a young person in particular wouldn't realize that a travel cooler would not allow someone to breathe. So I don't know. Honestly, my honest opinion, which you might disagree with significantly, is I think murder's a little bit harsh based on the information that we have. And I think a 23-year prison sentence is also very harsh. I think as a very, very young mother, I think extenuating circumstances would apply. It seems to me that she tried to, you know, alert people to the baby, not in a very good way, in a catastrophic way, but I personally don't see that she was purposefully vindictive or murderous in this case. That's my read on it. What do I know? I could be entirely wrong. And again, if you disagree, please, you know, say so in the comments.